Hey guys, this is Udit. So today we will be learning about how to achieve accessibility using HTML and HTML tags. This is an HTML series. We are going through HTML. So this is the document which I have created. So there are two things. First is accessibility and other is usability. Accessibility is obtained through good code, and it is basically for everyone. Accessibility allows people or everyone to access our websites. Usability is ease of using a document or likeness, how much you like. So UX improves our usability, whereas accessibility is improved by our code or certain other features. So with HTML we can enable accessibility 60 to 70%. We'll go through this document. We will see a code which is 100 written with accessibility in mind only through HTML. With React actually we will do later. So with HTML the first step is provide correct semantic structure, which is already in the playlist. If you go, I have already put in this video also the right how to write a better right semantic structure code with right semantic structure. I have put add proper text alternative alt or alt or the alternative text which it stands for. We have to write with every image, label with every form input, caption for every table. So that I have to do, and we have to do. And then use descriptive link text. Avoid use click here or download. So descriptive link text is not required. Ensure good color contrast. So color contrast is a very important thing which we won't be discussing here. We will be doing using CSS, but still just to keep that in mind, let me highlight it so that during CSS this thing we will do it. Make all interactive elements actual HTML elements. So use button instead of div. So like using native elements, it is. So native elements, what are native elements? Native elements are the base HTML elements. Rather than div and making it a button, we have to use a right tag button for that, so that when the screen reader reads, it has to be button. And we have to provide roles also for that. Make forms accessible. So label for every input, because this thing required fields use required attribute. So required field definitely will use required attribute only. So the second and most important is area described by optional for help text. So area, this particular thing is basically a help text. So this, without this also it will work with above two things if you do it, because screen reader will be able to read it. But this thing is a bonus. And area basic, what you can do in HTML is area is basically accessible rich internet applications. So A, double A and triple A you saw, right? Here level A level. So highest standards is triple A. So we have to make our websites as better as possible. Don't use area if native HTML elements already exist. This is the first rule. So native HTML, what is a native HTML? So native HTML elements are like button a, these are the native. And div is basically we are manipulating a element, so it is like this thing. Roles, when no native element exists for a particular just thing. If we are using a div, then we have to add role of alert, status, navigation and dialog. These are the examples. You can also add these properties: area expanded true false, area label close menu, area hidden true for our drop downs and other things. What do you understand? What you should not do in HTML? Yeah, you should not add area roles to native element. Never add role button to this tag button. So if there is already a tag for this thing, native tag, then there is no need to add a role for this. Don't use area for styling or layout. It has no visual effect. So for styling or layout of a button or a drop down, we shouldn't be using it because it doesn't have a visual effect. Keyboard only navigation, which means using tab you can navigate. So for example, if we go to here, if you go to our this thing, Using tab we can navigate. See, we are able to navigate all the buttons and all the fields using without mouse, only through the keyboard. So this is also a point. And then keyboard only navigation, that's what I was telling about, that with only keyboard we can, in all native elements already support keyboard navigation, like button, a, href, input. They actually come with enter, space, or tab. So with the tab you can go to input, all the input. With enter you can reach, enter all the href, go to the links. Button also with enter and space, it is there. Select is accessible through up and down arrow. So if there is a select or a drop down, we can navigate through up and down arrow. So all the things should be you know uh, navigable by, we can navigate through keyboards. And if it told, right, like the button native element, it is, we can navigate using enter and space, a, href through enter, and input through tab, select through up and down. So it's fairly simple. You only need to follow these simple rules. Use correct elements instead of, div, which I told how to do it. Manage tab order. Tab order is basically tab index for, select. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Select means when we have a select box and there are several options to choose from it, and then we have to maintain a tab index. And ensure visible focus style using focus. So use, this is the CSS, we will discuss this into CSS. Avoid remove outlines. So we can do that. So this is the code actually. It makes fully accessible unique JS for focus trap and close on escape. So this we will discuss in the JS section, like how JS can be used for, accessibility. So this example we will, this is accessible model. Model means, dialog box basically. So that's not required. That's also drop down is there, which is accessible drop down. How to do it? So a button, area, expanded, false, area control menu. So this is for readers, and then this is this thing, area carousel, heading, image. So area level, featured products, area source, this is the thing. So this is how it is. So guys, let me show you the code which I have written. So this is a React, this thing. So in this I have written a, accessible component, which is, and every feature of, how to do it. So starting with the first one, this is basically, first one. So this is for the focus. This is not required actually. So moving down actually, the first thing, only HTML we are discussing. So WCAG, semantic structure. So there is a header, there is a nav in the header, and it is, it is in the main, in the body. So it's like that, and then the section is there. So we see, like, we have following a perfect, the good structure. In the nav we are using area label, which is main menu, and then this is area label is for labeling what is the particular purpose for, as for a screen reader. Image with alt, so here we have using an image we have used. So this is very important for, WCAG, because if there is a problem in accessing this thing, we can. So we have form input with labels. This is most important, that with the form we have to use labels, and that's it. And yeah, and there is a area required also, which is true, which we discussed also. Like if there is, it's a required field, we have to mention it as required, and area required. They only ask for required, but area required is also there, so that it's better. So button, it doesn't require anything, but with the button we can area level, we can write for what is the purpose of the button. Accessible drop down. So in the drop down we have to see how we have to write. So area expanded, this is important. Area control. So these two things are, so how will people understand? It is for people who are visually, visually impaired, or they have low vision. So they're able to understand, like, the drop down is, what is the area expanded, area control, area this thing. So it is like that. So going down, so this is basically a, Yeah, so this is also a model, and in this we are using role for the dialog box, area model true, area labeled by model title, described by this thing. So this is it, guys. Area labeled by, described by, and using the right semantic structure, and labels for everything, for for the form, apart from using the native elements. So image, for the image we have to use alt. So these are the basic things. This was the example. I will be sharing the GitHub link also. I hope I made some sense here. And going forward, there is much in this HTML series. So please stay connected, like, share, subscribe this video.